Alrighty, so LR PyCon is here, and he has clearly shaken the meta to its core. Everybody has to drop what they're doing, and we have to completely rearrange how we are doing the tier lists. And then we woke up, right? Today I want to just go over the top 10 LRs sort of after the PyCon update, considering we're not going to be getting another major LR until the second part of Golden Week, which should be right around the second week of May, because Golden Week is going to be like the 27, 28 range for April. And then, 2 weeks after that, we're going to get a part 2 LR for that. Last year was Ultimate Gohan. This year, we'll just have to see what the theme is before we can even start predicting that. But just wanted to get those ground rules out of the way. Now, the thumbnail is going to say top 10. So we are going to be sort of loosely ranking these within the tiers. But you guys can see here, I have a Z tier, an S plus tier, and an S tier. All of the characters on this specific list are very, very, very good Dokkan characters. Just a matter of where I'm going to be placing them up and down on the list. These things can vary from time to time. The tier list that I'm using here, courtesy of D. Simons on Twitter. I couldn't find Super Vegito. I don't know where he was, but Super Gogeta is just going to be doing the place for AGL Vegeta, right? So just keep that in mind. Every performance here is going to be a bit different. I do not have PyCon, so it is going to be a little bit tricky to rank him, but I do think that he is worthy of the sort of top 10 echelon here. So with all that being said, if you guys do find yourself enjoying today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. And if you want to join the Discord and the link in the description, that way you can communicate with myself as well as the community around the game. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started with our S tier. The first character we're going to be talking about today is Tech Gotenks. Now, Tech Gotenks has sort of been this, he's been an interesting case, right? Where there's so much content in the game that varies right now, where it makes things very tricky to sort of put one character here, put one character there, and be like, yeah, this is something that I feel comfortable with, right? That is definitely where I'm at right now. With this Gotenks, I like his positioning in like Battle Hard and Formidable Foes and the shorter form content, but obviously with the Festival of Battles, not really going to be his cup of tea, right? Festival of Battles is just such a tough area, and there's so many characters that just cannot be used in there, where it makes it very tricky to sort of properly rank characters in that spot. So at number 10, I think Gotenks is going to be a fine addition here. On a lot of teams, just works out really well on like the year 10 LR lead leader teams. I don't know why I can't talk. The year 10 teams, right? They work out very well. So I definitely think this is a good spot for him. Not too high, not too low, right? Well, for the top 10, it's the lowest you can go. But I think right now he's just an S tier character. Very impressive. I think offensively, he can look very good with his potential double to triple supers, all the crits that he's doing, the easy access that he has to an active skill, as well as his defensive prowess. If you do know a character is going to have a blast-based super, you put him in front of that, he just is going to take it for double digits, and then he's going to counter and do a lot of damage back himself. So just a very situational character that works out extremely well on a lot of different teams. Final trump card, not tough for him to sort of get his maximum potential, so that is why we have him at S. But moving on to the next character that I want to talk about in S is going to be, let's see, how do I want to do this, right? The thing is I'm looking at you, and I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not going to do it, no. We're going to go up to S+, and first character I'm going to have in S+ is going to be a Grade 8 Vegeta. Now, Grade 8 Vegeta, I am one of those people who is not as high on this guy as the rest of the community, I think. And it's not because I think he's bad. I'm just not like, I was like, when I use this character, I'm not thinking like, oh, he feels like Beast Gohan, right? That's never sort of the vibe that I got from this character. But with that being said, I do like the role that he is playing. Works really well on the AGL Gogeta team specifically. Being a successor and stuff like that just works out extremely well with that team. You put him next to like Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You have the combinations of the giant forms, the support that's coming in from Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Very helpful for his damage reduction, the guard that he has access to. Just a very solid offensive and defensive character that can run on a lot of different teams and can run efficiently on said teams. So really a big fan of what this guy is bringing to the table. However, again, him being a long form based character is not the case, right? This guy is not going to be going into the Festival of Battles or the Universe 11 Red Zone state or the Universe Survival Saga Red Zone stages where he's just going to go in and crush them. That is not the case with this, just because, again, he does not have the stack ability that some of these other characters have, where especially with the Festival of Battles, you'll notice that the 5 best LRs in the game right here, I'm not circling them or anything, but they all have one common thing, and that is going to be the stacking of both their attack and their defense. So not really as common here for the bottom half, and that is really what separates the Z tier from the S plus tier right now. So Great A Vegeta I have in at number 9. Let's move on to number 8, which is going to be LR Pikkon. Now, I really like Pikkon. If you want to put him at 7 or 6, I think that's fine too, but I like this spot for him right here. Very good character, right? New Pikkon provides good support, has a decent leader skill here. Otherworld Warriors doesn't sound like a great team, but it really has sort of seen a glow up in the last couple weeks here with some decent sub EZAs with the inclusion of Pikkon himself. And then Otherworld Warriors, both of these characters are on Otherworld Warriors right here, and I believe Goku and Frieza are as well. So having them on Otherworld Warriors as well is just a nice buff for the team overall. So that is why we have him up here. The support that he is bringing, he is really just a number junkie, right? Like he is just getting super high attack stats, defensive stats, and it all sort of works out in a good way, right? That's why I'm a big fan of what this character is bringing to the table. I think this Pikkon has potential to be really good. The issue for me is the lack of defensive stacking, right? Offensively, he can get crazy, and you can get some really insane attack stats with this Pikkon, but I don't know if I'm willing to put him any higher than some of the other defensive capability characters that are going to be on this list above him. Because again, what do we value the most on this channel, really? It's slot 1, turn 1 defense, and sometimes some events allow you to have it, some don't. These guys can get away, like these two can get away with not having that amazing start of turn defense turn 1 because of Festival of Battles, right? And then they also just have ceilings like no other characters in the game. But that is a discussion for a little bit later. So Pikkon, number 8, number 7, number 6, that is probably where I like having him. Let's move on to number 7, which is going to be Beast Gohan. Now, Beast Gohan I like over Pikkon solely off of his defensive capability right away. I think Pikkon has potential, right, with the dodging and stuff like that. But the fact is, he cannot go slot 1 at the beginning of the fight, and that is always going to be something that's extremely valuable. It's not like the Festival of Battles just rendered the rest of the game useless, right? Can you consider it with how you're evaluating characters? Absolutely. But Beast Gohan and Pikkon, they're both characters, and it's really the same thing for Broly. I'll put him up here now. Really, it's the same thing for him as well, right? Really like that Broly. But these two both sort of have very similar skeletons in what they are doing. In terms of just having that essentially invincibility right off the bat. But when you get out of that, it's like, okay, that's sketchy. But if we're talking about battle hard and formidable foes, we're talking about content that's really short, it's going sub 10 turns. These two are going to be some of the absolute best in the game for you, and that is why I think they're high end for S+. You know, it pains me to not put Beast Gohan and Z. Y'all know me, but that's really where I kind of have this guy right now. These two, again, are just fulfilling very similar roles. They're going to be hitting harder and harder until their buffs wear off, like with Beast Gohan. That intro buff wearing off is really just a nail in the coffin, unfortunately, for him. Can he be serviceable without it? Yes, but he's really hoping that you just keep that up for the whole fight. So that is where battle hard and formidable foes is really going to be this character's best friend. I think that, you know, the ability to have that slot 1, turn 1 potential with the guard and the damage reduction and the build up that you're getting with every time that you're getting hit, the key support you're providing for the team, or he's providing for the team, very good. And then the same thing is going to be said for Broly here, where you have that initial support, you have that defense going, they both have potential for action breaks, just very similar characters in the role that they're fulfilling on their teams especially, so that's why you can kind of group them together. Like, if you were to tell me, like, which one do you like better, I'd probably do this, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think if you want to argue Beast over him, though, that's completely fine. Or if you want to argue Broly over Beast, that's completely fine. I'm just going to do that because I'm biased. So that's what we're going to do. But rounding out the S+ tier, we have Super Saiyan 3 into Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You guys know how well this character performs in almost all content. Short form content, you've got your dodging. Long form content, you've got your stacking. In all content, you have your supporting. You have your giant form, which could potentially bail you out if a super is going to mess you up. There's just a lot of things that this guy is doing. Has a very good link set. Has a potential for a crazy team very soon if we get a Dama Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You guys know the drill with that at this point. We've been talking about it for what feels like months now, or like a little over a month now, right? So that is something that we have to keep in mind. It's going to be coming at some point, right? It might be 11th anniversary for all we know, but it's definitely going to be a thing. But with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, obviously you guys know high offense, high defense, damage reduction. Like his defensive stats are just like exponentially going up almost every time you're supering and stuff like that. The stacks aren't as crazy, but he definitely can put in some work. And especially in Festival of Battles, you know, the hardest event in the game's history, where you just have to consider it, this guy's going to be one of your aces, right? You run him next to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you get towards the end. The issue I've kind of run into with him, though, is his norm. Like, he can get tagged by those Vegito normals, right? Like, you're really kind of hoping for a taunt or for one of them, or like a lot of stacking. I think that is something that I have run into before, where it's like it can be tricky, but overall, I don't think there's enough to put him above or below anybody else. I think, ironically enough, like 5 is just going to be his perfect spot. And now we can just round out the Z tier here. You guys know how this goes. This is always just going to be the way things go. 3 and 4, these are just kind of like a shared spot. This is sort of what I like for this spot in specific. But if we look at the Z tier, you guys know at this point how the year 7s operate with their early on damage reduction, turn 1, their turn 4 damage reduction, turn 5 damage reduction that they get, or you could potentially stack them and make them some of the best characters in the game. We talk about Festival of Battles. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's counter is just doing an unbelievable amount of work, and I think that's really important. And then with the LR Blues, it's going to be a very similar case where you have that dodge chance, you have the ability to do 4 to 5 supers. They're basically all doing crits. The first one has an action break. You have the active skill. When you need it, you'll have it. With both of those characters, and you guys know sort of how they operate at this point, being the Festival of Battles aces. You know, the top 4 best characters of Festival of Battles are right here. And then if you want some honorable mentions, I guess we'll toss those in here in a moment. But with honorable mentions, you guys know how those work. But then with Super Gogeta, very impressive character. The support that he's providing for Vegito, as well as his own self-sustainability with the damage reduction with the rainbow orbs, the ability to create those rainbow orbs to give himself the damage reduction, not relying on enemy hit placement. It's just a very nice self-sustaining character that helps make Super Vegito look like the best character in the game. You guys know Super Vegito at his ceiling literally is putting out like 1 billion APT and is also having 60% damage reduction with guard, with 15 million defense or whatever it may be, especially in Festival of Battles. It's just silly. You guys know it's Tech Super Vegito, best character in the game still. Probably going to be his world until Worldwide Download Celebration, but we'll have to see how the Tanabata characters go. Let's go ahead and look at some honorable mentions, and then we can get out of here. Okay, so last but not least here, just wanted to toss a few honorable mentions here. Janemba, very nice defensive character. You guys know if I don't put Janemba on this, there's usually always somebody like, where is Janemba, right? Namek Goku for his stacking in the Festival of Battles, you know, one of the essential characters for the no item run for a lot of people, so you have to give him some love for that. Gohan, very good short form character with those first 5 turns doing a bunch of supers, having a ton of damage, very hard hitting active skill. Int Broly with his domain, I really like him. Honestly, I'm just going to toss him up here. I really like this Int Broly. Really, we could just do this. I think that's fair, right? Int Broly with his domain, just a very silly character. We'll make it top 11. Why not? With Broly, just a big fan of how he works. With AGL-UI Goku, short form content, battle hard, formidable foes. He can sell you at times, but overall, that turn 1 usability is just always going to be so clutch. So there you guys go, are my current top 10/11 LRs in Dokkan. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.